Good morning. During this time of COVID, I thought that I would start collecting interesting thoughts and essays that we could reflect on during these complicated times. So I want to start today by reading something from C.S. Lewis, my favorite author and a fine Christian. The essay is called On Living in the Atomic Age. In one way, we think a great deal too much about the atomic bomb. How are we to live in an atomic age? I am tempted to reply, why, as you would have lived in the 16th century when the plague visited London almost every year, or as you would have lived in a Viking age when raiders from Scandinavia might land and cut your throat at night, or indeed, as you are already living in an age of paralysis, an age of air raids, an age of railway accidents, in an age of motor accidents. In other words, do not let us begin by exaggerating the novelty of our situation. Believe me, dear sir or ma'am, you and all whom you love are already sentenced to death before the atomic bomb was invented. And quite a high percentage of us were going to die in unpleasant ways. We had indeed one very great advantage over our ancestors, anesthetics. But we have that still. It is perfectly ridiculous to go about whimpering and drawing long faces because the scientists have added one more chance of painful and premature death to a world which already bristled with such chances and in which death itself was not a chance at all, but a certainty. This is the point to be made, and the first action to be taken to pull ourselves together. If we are going to be destroyed by an atomic bomb, let that bomb, when it comes, find us doing sensible and human things, praying, working, teaching, reading, listening to music, bathing the children, playing tennis, chatting to our friends over a pint or a game of darts, not huddled together like frightened sheep and thinking about bombs. They may break our bodies, but they need not dominate our minds. Events such as the present COVID-19 pandemic shocks us into confronting our mortality. The awareness is forcibly acute during these times. But the fact of the matter is, as Lewis reminds us, very little has changed. We were not in control of much of our lives before, are not now, and will not be after this has passed us. Physicians are well familiar with death. Therefore, we are well positioned to help our patients focus on living. I recently asked a patient how he was spending his time. He told me he was enjoying a glass of wine with his wife, just as I called. He had been saving it for a special time, and he thought that the day was right for it. He was not spending time fretting about having to wear a mask the next time he went shopping, or the additional number of times he would be washing his hands from now on. I asked him to drink a toast for me. A couple of elderly patients recently asked me whether they should allow their grandchild to spend a weekend with them. As far as they knew, they had been healthy, but was it safe? No one can be absolutely sure, was my reply. Then I reminded them that our lives are never risk-free. The better question to ask was whether spending time with their grandchild was worth the risk. In this case, I thought the risk was rather small, but not zero. I told them they should take into account the limited opportunities, the chances to create memory, and consider whether staying hermetically safe was worth more. The decision was theirs to make. Someone penned these wise words: "Fear does not stop death, it stops life. And worrying does not take away tomorrow's troubles, it takes away today's peace. Mortality is an absolute certainty, but it should not be the focus of our humanity. There are countless ways to die, and the vast majority of humankind will have no choice on what's going to happen. What is within our choice is how we will live each day gifted to us. There are kindnesses to be shared, wise words to be penned and spoken, gifts to be given, pleasures to be enjoyed, prayers and wishes to be raised to the heavens. The better choice is to fill our days with worthwhile and memorable moments. Take due precaution, stay safe, and go live your life."